All right, guys, so this is going to be our box and whisker plot. So our min x is 77, Q1 is 79.1, our median is 79.8, our Q3 is 80.9, and our max x is 82.2. We're also needed the mean, and the only reason why is because it says right here, compare the mean and the median. So remember, if the median is bigger than the mean, it's a negative skew. If the mean is bigger than the median, it's a positive skew. Okay, great. So 79.94. Okay, fantastic. So I can see the smallest number is our min x, which is 77. The biggest one is 82. So just kind of use those numbers for kind of like a timeline. Let's actually do a little bit lower, give myself some more space. So I'm going to have 77, 78, 79, 80, 81, 82, 83. Okay, so I'm going to do a dot for my min x. So I'm going to put min x, which is 77. You don't have to write min x on there. I'm just writing it for you guys. Q1 is the left side of the box, which is 79.1. So that's going to be the left side of the box. That's your Q1. And the right side of the box is Q3. So it's 80.9. So right before 81. That's your Q3. Okay, create a box from there. Our median is 79.8. So it's going to be right around here. Draw a line for that. And then our max x is 82.2. So draw a dot there. So this is the median. And this is the max x. So that's it for the box and whisker plot. Really all I need is the data. I think it's a little bit easier than the histogram, but there's always preferences. And then what's bigger? So we have our median and our mean. I can see the mean is bigger than the median because 79.9 is larger than 79.8. So it's going to be positively skewed. And then taking a look at the next one. So this is something you could write in your notes. Discrete is usually counting. And continuous is usually like a measurement. And it could be like time, distance, weight, speed, anything that you kind of measure. Usually it could have a decimal essentially. Discrete, usually there's no decimals. So number 6, that's just the vocab right there. Number 6, it's asking number of selfies. So you could count 1, 2, 3 selfies. There's no partial selfies. So that would be discrete. For number 7, the weight of a bodybuilder's protein, that's something you're going to measure. So that's going to be continuous. Speed is something that's measured, so it's also continuous. And the number of pieces, you're counting whole pieces, so that's going to be discrete. And that's the answer to number 7. Okay. Okay, expected value. So you want to set up a chart. It's going to have something along the lines of your net profit. And then you're going to do your percent of happening. But write it in decimals. And then the final column is it's going to be net profit times the percent, and it's still that needs to be in decimal forms. Okay, and then you're going to have multiple situations, so it's like situation 1, situation 2, situation 3. Okay, so you could have multiple situations, and then you're going to add this column up. for expected value. Okay, so for this one, it is Britney Spears. She's making a book. So I can create a little chart. And I usually write the words on the side. I feel like that kind of helps me figure out what means what. So this is like a normal book. So the normal book, and I specified it in here too. I put the net profit so you don't have to worry about subtracting. So it says she's writing a book. She's going to sell the book for $30. So the net profit, I already did it, was $30 minus the $10 of material and shipping, and that gives her a net profit of 20. And it says there's a 70% chance that the net profit is 20. Oh, darn it. Oh. Okay. So this is net profit. This is the percent and decimals. And if you don't remember how to do the decimals, just divide the percent by 100 and it'll give you the decimal. And this is net profit times the percent. Okay, so net profit for this one is going to be 20. She gets $20 for a normal book. There's a 70% chance of that happening. So when I multiply those together, I get 14. And then there's a signed book, and she's going to sell that for top dollar. So it says for the signed book that there's a net profit of 70, and there's 20% of the books that are probably going to have a signature. So it's a $70. It also gives us a 70. And then there's also the return. So let's just say someone was like, ugh, Britney Spears, so outdated, just like Emma. So it'd be negative $10. So you can see right here, net profit is negative 10. It's a 10% chance, so it's 0.1. That gives me negative $1. I'm going to add these up. The expected value is $27. So does 27 mean how much she's going to get for each book? No, it just means on average, between all the normal books, signed books, and the returns, she'll get about $27 profit per book. Okay, so this one is going to be a permutation. So the permutation formula is NPR equals n factorial over n minus r factorial. So remember, permutations are, and this could be something you could add to your note card. Permutations, order matters. Combinations. Okay, so for a lock, definitely the order for the lock matters. Okay, so there is, if you take a look over here, there's 40 numbers on the lock. So that's all the numbers we could choose from. So we have 40. And our N is going to be, our R is going to be 3 because we need 3 numbers for the lock. So that's going to give us 40 over 40 minus 3 factorial. So remember that all 40 factorial is all the numbers behind, and then you could leave off at a number and leave the factorial. So 40 times 39 times 38, and it would continue past 37, because if we have 37 factorial, it would continue 37 and beyond. And remember, we do that because we want to make it simpler for getting our answer. So this would be 37 factorial down here. These two will cancel out. So 40 times 39 times 38 gives me 59,280. And remember, we're looking for one of these situations, so it'd be 1 out of 59,280, okay? And that would be your final answer. Let's take a look at the next one. We did not do this one. This one's also a permutation. So we're going to use the same formula. So it's going to be the NPR, and then you have the N exclamation mark N minus R. Okay, so it's total of 9. So that's our big amount number. So it's going to be 9. And then our R is the number of ones that we want. So you're looking for Deshaun to win grand prize and Dan to win the second prize. That's how we know it's also a permutation, because like the order of who does what matters. So there's going to be 2 slots you're looking for. Okay, and then so it's going to be 9 factorial over 9 minus 2 factorial. So it's 9 times 8 times 7 factorial. Remember, 7 factorial, just 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It continues the pattern, but we can stop at any point for that factorial. And then 7 factorial, those cancel out, and that gives me 72. There's only one possibility that Deshaun would win first place and Dan would win second place. So it's 1 out of 72 probability. So for the normal distribution, you're going to need to use the Z formula. So you're going to take your, this is also something great to write down. So you're going to take your X point, whatever point you're looking at, subtract the mean, and then divide it by the standard deviation. So the Z-score of 240 is going to give me, and the Z-score of 270 is going to give me something. Okay, so this point, that's the point we're looking at. So that's 240. It says our mean of 266, so minus our mean, which is 266, divided by our standard deviation right here of 16. Same thing for this one, 270 minus 266 divided by 16. The top one, I'm going to get negative 1.625. And then the bottom one, I'm going to get 0.25. Remember, the Z-score is telling you how many standard deviations. It is away from the mean. So depending on what you're using, so if you're using the TI-84 graphing calculator, it's going to ask you for the lower value. So you're going to put the lower X number, which is 240. The upper value is 270. And then our mean, which you can see it in this U form, or mu, is a proper Greek 266. And then our standard deviation, it's in a lowercase sigma, and that's equal to 16. And then that is for the calculator for the TI-84. If you're putting it into your phone, to get to that point, you're going to need to go to the second button. And this is maybe something you want to write down. So the second button, so that's the blue button. And above the vars, you're going to see DISTR, distir. So do the blue button and then distir. And then you're going to do normal, the number 2, which says normal CDF, and then has a parentheses. That's what you use for that. You use the same buttons for if you're going to be using the phone app that we like to use. The only thing is that you're going to be using your Z-scores. You don't have to put in all those 4 numbers. So you're just putting your Z-scores. So for the phone, you're going to use the same steps as above, right? Those same buttons. And then it's going to say normal CDF. And then to have your parentheses, all you have to do is put your lower Z-score and then your higher Z-score. So negative 1.625, comma, 0.25. And then both of them will give you the same answer, and it's going to be 54.6%. Same answer. They're doing the same thing. They're just kind of going for it from about 2 different methods.